Chelsey, thank you so much for joining us on the Wise Immigrant Podcast by Miss Immigrant USA, where we uh, have a discussion and get to know the candidates who are running for people's positions that not only going to change your life, but as well my life, all our lives, and hopefully for better. So thank you so much once again for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. It's our pleasure. The main goal today is to learn about you, who you are, who is Chelsey, where she's coming from, why did she decide to run, and how all this is connected to what we do as well with Miss Immigrant USA, which is connecting to immigrant identity, who are immigrants, how it plays the big role in the country we live in, America, and how it influences our lives, how we perceive each other, how we perceive immigrants, who are we? So Chelsey, please share with us about your background, your story. The stage is yours.
All right. Well, I was born in Maryland, and I moved down to Texas when I was a teenager. So it was due to some family issues. So, that plays a big role in just who I am as a person. And I try to look out for kiddos and families because of that. But I went to school outside of Dallas on the west side. I went to Texas Women's University, and I went to school originally for nursing, and I worked at a vet clinic, and I just couldn't do it. I was so sad all of the time, so I ended up graduating with a business degree. And from that point, I worked in the food industry. It was easy to move around with. I worked every position from host all the way up to a regional training manager, and I did HR stuff. And I worked my way up from the bottom with a couple companies, and we were able to move around a little bit so my husband could gain some experience. And he currently works for sorry, he currently works for an airline, and he is part of a workers union. And we started our family. We were together in high school, and when we were trying to start our family, my endometriosis came into play. I have recurrent miscarriages. I've had a lot of reproductive health issues, and seeing everything happen with Roe v. Wade really flipped a big switch in just the way that my brain was wired for the kids and for the moms, and seeing the absolute detriment that has caused us. And then, hey, do you want me to do it or not? Okay. He wants an orange. I'm so sorry. I do have the kids, and they're always here. It's summertime.
Perfect.
Okay. So I went through an entire reproductive issue, and when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I was actually in my second high-risk pregnancy, and I was devastated. I was so depressed. I was, and it's not because I didn't want my baby, but it's because of something happened. I lived in the state of Texas, and I was afraid that I was going to die because I couldn't get medical care at time. And so that is a big part that has shaped me, and what's really pushed me to run is the way that society treats women and children. I was pushed out of work because childcare was more than what I was making. My kids' schools are not safe. Our education is failing because in Texas we have a private voucher issue happening, which I don't know how much you're aware of the private voucher, but basically the private voucher has been taking money away from the public schools. So they are giving coupons to private school attendees that already pay for private school, and they're funneling that money out of the public school system, and they're shutting down schools all over the state of Texas when we're already 37th in education.
But
yeah, so
you said about the school that they are taking money from the public and giving it to private?
Yes. So I believe the tuition rate, I think they're like $12,000 off of private school tuition. It changes, like it varies from household to household, but it's supposed to allow you to have a better school choice. But a lot of our areas, we don't have the private schools, or they discriminate based on race, gender, disabilities, that kind of stuff, and they aren't really beholden to following the disability laws. They don't have to have ramps. They don't have to have ADA accessibility. They don't have to have all this stuff. They don't have to pull in teachers for special needs kids. Like, that's not something that's required. And while doing that and funneling that money out of the public schools where kids with disabilities cannot go, they're shutting down special needs programs in public schools too, because they no longer have the money to fund it. So it is very detrimental to our kids that need a little bit of extra help, and they don't want to follow the IEPs. They don't want to follow any of the just standards of care that we have. And it's a big deal for me because when I was in high school, I spent 2 years working with special needs kids to help them get physical therapy. That was my gym class. That is what I did. And I did it for an extra year because I loved it so much, not because it gave me any credit towards anything.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing those programs disappear from the schools is heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. What was like the switch in your mind when you decided I need to run? Was it about the schools, the situation, or was there something more that said like, okay?
It was everything together. The very final one was childcare, where I think I was making just enough to pay for like groceries like 1.5 times after childcare cost. And so there was no point in me working because all we were paying for was daycare, and I was able to afford grocery trips once, maybe twice, and that was all we had left over. So redirecting those funds to where I'm staying home, taking care of the kids. I've got them in school. I shuttle them back and forth. And I was so angry that the system failed us, that we couldn't afford childcare. Like, there was no, well, we could afford childcare, but there was no point in only working for childcare. And I really liked my job. So I was angry. I was an angry mom. I'm still an angry mom. Our mothers are dying. We don't have childcare. Our schools are failing. They're not taking care of mothers and children. And so me being a mom that has been affected greatly by it, I was just kind of done, and I was ready to run.
I completely understand, and I envy you for this, and I cheer you up because if we don't take it in our hands, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the mom motto, isn't it?
Yes.
Nobody else is going to, so I'm going to. And we're in a very red district, but with the redistricting that happened in Texas, we pushed pretty far into Dallas, and we have a chance to flip our district now. So we're hoping we can get childcare programs in rural Texas that does not have anything available.
Yes, by the way, congratulations on winning the runoff.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was nerve-wracking, but I'm happy we made it through.
Yes. On our podcast, I will speak about immigrant identity, and not in terms of the papers or borders or citizenship, but as a human experience and a movement, rebuilding memory, families, dignity. So my question is to you, when you hear the word immigrant, what do you feel first?
I feel a lot of love. I grew up in Maryland. That's where I went to school. The majority of my community, they were from El Salvador and Guatemala. My best friend was a mix of the two, and that was our entire just neighborhood, and there was a lot of love. And from there, I met my stepmom, and my stepmom, her mom immigrated from the Philippines. I have family that is Chinese, and Sabrina immigrated, I believe, when she was a young child. I can't remember if she was born here or if she was very, very young, but her parents did immigrate over to the US to give her a life that was full. And it's shaped my entire life. When I was in high school, all of my friends, they were either immigrants themselves or they were children of immigrants, and they were from nearly every country that you could think of. We had an entire group. It was just an Asian friend group, and everybody was from a different country. And so we got to experience a lot of different cultures. We got to experience, stories and food and love from each culture. One of my friends was Vietnamese, and I worked for his parents, and they would invite me over for the big like, family gatherings for Easter and everything else as well. So I have a lot of love just for the people that have immigrated into the country that have drastically changed my life, and they have made it infinitely more better.
We often as well say we are all immigrants and we are all
Yes.
one because everyone is moving from something to somewhere. Does this idea make sense to you?
Yeah, like while I have ancestry that is indigenous to the US, I also have ancestry that is from, England, Scotland, Russia, Estonia. They're very European and from a lot of my ancestors, but we're all immigrants. It shaped this country. It was built by immigrants, and it's us. That is who we are as a culture.
Have you ever had a chance to do some more tracing and family root tree or something like this?
Yeah, we do a good bit of it. I've focused a lot on the indigenous side of it because a lot of those records are becoming more and more available for us. So it's been fun. So I found like letters from ancestors, and I've found news stories and all kinds of cool stuff from the people that were from the U.S. And then my aunt does a lot of work on the European side. So we've found our family crest and castles that they would have worked at and stuff like that. But so it's cool. Most of it is Irish and Scottish and English. So just like most of the other immigrants, but
the first settlers probably, yes.
Yes. So we came over, I believe, the late 1700s. And my family started in Virginia, made their way down to Alabama. They were the original like Alabama settlers. And then my Cherokee family was sent on the Trail of Tears. So we have a whole very deep Southern roots into Oklahoma.
Almost like reading a history book, right?
Yes. And it feels like that too. It's really cool.
Yes. Many times in politics, the word immigrant is connected to fear, crisis, problems.
Yeah.
When was the last time that you heard somebody use the word immigrant, which was connected to something positive or beauty or leadership?
Positive, I do hear a lot more frequently, and I'm thankful for it. I go to a majority Spanish speaking church. They do bilingual services and they do like English speaking services as well, but they're wonderful. And we talk about immigration justice a lot, and we support. We support and we love. Unfortunately, the negativity I hear way more frequently through politics. But I am luckily surrounded by a crowd that does love everybody, and we're very thankful to have that diversity.
Do you think elected leaders have responsibility to change the way people speak about immigrants?
I do. I think they're the ones that are a big driving factor of the negativity that's happening right now. They're the ones that want the legislation. They're using fear-based tactics to get what they want and to whiten the community. And I think it's disgusting. But I do believe that it is driven by the elected officials, and that is pushed into the press and the media, and it goes down into the households. They use it for support because there are a lot of politicians that use fear tactics to retain voters instead of policies that promote welfare within the communities.
Yes, and unite together. Instead, they divide, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a full division. Unfortunately, I live in one of those areas that's very divided. We have a lot of race-based tension on all fronts in our area, and it's a really hard thing to see, and it's a really hard thing to combat.
Yeah, I checked it. Like your district is very diverse with Hispanic, Black, Asian, working class families.
Yes.
How are you thinking to represent those people and their life experiences that are so different than yours? And how do you think you can connect with them to make them feel safe and secure and trust you?
The biggest thing that I want to do is listen.
Yes.
I want to hear.
what's happening. I'm not a big fan of ICE and immigration. I am on the fully left side of abolishing because we have such a horrific history in the US of immigration departments and forces from the Mexican repatriation to the Japanese internment camps to what's happening right now. And I think that it's very I think it's very detrimental to our community because there's a lot of fear behind it. And there's fear driven from the ICE and the immigration services directly. So we have schools in Forney where the immigration officers will follow families home frequently. They target the same families almost daily, like when they were doing school pickup lines. Away. So we have ICE that fully harasses and terrorizes the families. DFW is they're responsible. DFW is the highest arrest rate for ICE in the entire area. And they target our Garland area, they target our Mesquite area, they target Pleasant Grove, they target Oak Cliff, they target the areas that are lower income, and they will literally follow people home and throw them to the ground and pull them out of their cars and do whatever by whatever means necessary to terrorize these families. And they'll pick up parents after they do school drop-offs. So for me, I want to listen and I want to learn and I want to know what people went through and I want to see how the system can change. But I also want to get rid of the absolute terrorizing force in our community because there's no safety and security for anybody when the threat of you getting pulled out of your car at a traffic stop exists. And I'm sorry. I get teary.
I as well feel you because I can't imagine. I mean, like, why would they even follow, like, or target this specific area that you said? You said
they target low income because they're over policed as it is. So they're used to a police presence that is already hard for the communities to deal with. But because they have that police backup and the police force is always there, they work with them. So they'll go in and they'll do the arrests together, but they target what they were specifically targeting for months in my area was school pickup lines, to the point where people were arranging carpools to go pick up kids from families that were at risk of being detained.
That's terrible.
So it's horrifying. And when we talk about abolishing ICE, for me, like, I still want the security of, like, I still want to see secure borders. I want to see a justice system that actually works for us. I want to see us be able to move through the immigration services at a good pace. I don't want to see people held up for 20 years waiting to get documentation, because undocumented is such a weird word to use when we have temporary status, refugee status, we have asylees, we have a lot of different variations of what documented means, but it doesn't mean the same thing to everybody with the way that the fear-based tactics work. So I want to see a system that functions, and I don't want to spend money. I don't want to spend billions and billions and billions of money on an entire department that is literally just terrorizing our children. We've had over 500 toddlers, like kids under the age of 3, and infants in detention since 2025. So, and I mean, we have Dilley in Texas, and then we have Delaney Hall that's happening up in New Jersey. And again, I want to see secure borders. I don't want to see people that are escaping prosecution in another area because they're guilty of a crime come into our country. But at the same time, I don't want babies drowning in the Rio Grande because Greg Abbott told the Border Patrol to leave them in the river if they cross it and they're drowning. So the way that immigrants are treated in Texas specifically is horrifying.
It just doesn't make sense logically that they let in so many immigrants, and here are the immigrants from like a little bit the past, overstayed, but they assimilated, they are working, they're creating families, they're creating new citizens.
Yes.
And now they are being targeted, and especially the Latino Hispanic. Probably there's a lot of them in Texas. I think I saw like 30% of your district, they are Latina.
Yeah.
And they are like the most hardworking people ever.
Yeah. They are. I can't deny anything. Everything that you said is absolutely accurate. People have been here for 40 plus years. They've had grandkids and great grandkids here. They are full members of our community. They contribute to the economy. They own businesses. There's no reason for them to go anywhere. They deserve to be here. They've worked for it. And I want to see that. I want to see them succeed, because when they succeed, we succeed.
Mm. Do you believe that America can become a country where people of different cultures can exist and coexist together and make it home for all of us together?
I think we can. I don't know how long in the future that would be, but I, with everything in me, want that to be what exists for me, for my kids, for people that come here and their kids. That's what it was supposed to be.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just gonna say that is what it was supposed to be. That's what's on the Statue of Liberty.
What does patriotism mean to you in a multicultural country like USA?
I think it's people that love where they are. I think it's being allowed to criticize, and I think it's about making your country a better place for you, for your family, and to continue on and just creating a safe haven for the future generations. I think it's doing everything that you can to make sure that everybody is set up for success in the future via the country. Sorry, that was a little bit jumbled, but
It's okay.
it's the love. I love my country and I want it to be better, and I want to make sure that our kids are taken care of. And that for me is patriotism.
Can you think that someone can love America and still carry another culture, another language, and another family history with pride at the same time?
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, you should be able to carry multiple cultures, because we have families that are, from Japan and from Mexico and from China, and they meet each other and they marry and they have kids, and those kids should be able to carry that country with pride as well. I mean, that is what America has been. Is you come here, we had Scottish neighborhoods and English neighborhoods, and we had Irish neighborhoods, and it created these amazing restaurants and cultures and businesses that were specific to those areas. And like, you still go off there, you can go to Little Ukraine, you can go to Chinatown, you can go everywhere and still experience a little piece of what somebody thought that was so great from their country to your country, and give you the opportunity to experience just that little piece, that little slice of their life. And if we don't have pride from our other countries, we don't get that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. We are here on Wise Immigrant Podcast, and we always ask every candidate, what is the wisdom that you would like to share with our audience to empower them?
Don't give up hope and keep fighting for what you believe in, because one day I think that we're going to come to a place of peace, and our kids are going to be so respectful and look to each other for friendship, for family, and for guidance. And I really think that we're going to get out of the dark place that we're in right now. May not be wisdom, but it's just a little piece of hope that we're here and we are working together right now to make sure that our futures are going to persist past the point that we're seeing in our country.
If anyone would like to learn more about you, where they can find more information?
So you can go to chelseahockettforcongress.com. We should have a new website up and running soon as well. And then at Chelsey Hockett for Congress on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, and then Hockett for Congress on TikTok.
Chelsey, thank you so much for your time, for your passion, and for your courage, because I know it takes a lot.
especially with the two little ones that are running around.
Yes, but they will be your support. They will be the one when
Yeah.
you come back home after a tiring day on the campaign, and they were like, "Oh, mommy," and they hug you, and you will be like, "It's worth it."
Yep, and we cuddle in, we snuggle at bedtime, and it's the best. But thank you so much for having me today. It's really been fantastic to speak with you.
Thank you so much, Chelsey, and we see you. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Take care
If
of
we do this
yourself.
again, I'm gonna
Yes.
get the kids completely. I'm
Okay.
gonna lock them in a room.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
And take care of yourself, please.
Well,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Bye bye for now.
Bye.